I'm Mitski, and I'm going to talk about how we made the song called I'm Your Man. So I wrote this song on acoustic guitar, and when I first wrote the song, it was basically just the first half of what the track is now, just the part with the main vocals and the acoustic guitar. And after listening through, I was like, you know what? Even for my standards, this is pretty short. I need to figure out a way to lengthen it. The problem was, I didn't want to add other parts. I didn't want to add like a chorus or a bridge or whatever. I wanted it to be exactly what it is. How do I lengthen it without adding any more, main vocal melodies? And then I thought, okay, well, what's my favorite thing? Choral voices. So, I had the great privilege of writing the 4-part harmony for the choir and then getting a choir. And at the end, I had the choir sing the words yo ho, like yo ho, yo ho, yo ho, yo ho. Because yo ho is like a pirate thing, right? It's a pirate trope. Pirates say yo ho. Fictional pirates, obviously. And I don't know, the pirates of the imagination are sort of masculine figures, and that leads me to my intention behind the song. I wanted it to be a masculine song. It's called I'm Your Man. I know it might sound like it's from the perspective of maybe a bad man character or maybe a mean male partner, but actually what I wanted to do for the song was write from the perspective of the man in my head. This sounds weird, I know, but stay with me. I think no matter what gender you are, there's the voice of a patriarch in your head, because we all live in and were raised in a patriarchy. And I think what the sort of male masculine voice says in your head depends on not just what gender you are, but your interactions with male figures in your life, and of course, all the messaging you've received from the culture and the patriarchy around you. And well, I have found that the man in my head makes me believe some pretty unhelpful things, often toxic things about both myself and the world and other people. And I always try to keep it in check, but I thought, you know what, maybe I should write a song where I give a voice to that man in my head. And maybe it'll help me sort of come to peace with it or free it up a little bit, kind of like that story of the Buddha when meditating to reach enlightenment. I hope I don't get this wrong. Mara comes in and tries to distract him or bother him, to put it lightly. Mara is the demon god, or a demon god in the story of the Buddha. And the Buddha responds by saying, I see you, and then inviting Mara for tea and treating Mara like a special guest. And I think there really is something to that, and I wanted to try something similar by just being like, okay, patriarch in my mind, you have the floor, what do you want to say? And anyway, so that's kind of where the song came from. Lastly, my favorite part of this track, I have a lot of favorite parts, very obviously, but my very favorite are the dog barks and the outdoor night sounds, like the bug sounds. I think the best thing about music is that you don't always have to have a coherent explanation as to why you put things in your music. And I don't really have a solid explanation as to why I heard those sounds in my head when imagining this part. It was just like, you know what, this feels good. And so I told Patrick Hyland, the producer, hey, find public domain sounds that are dog barking and also like outdoor night sounds, like maybe crickets, just maybe like grass, something like that. And he came through and he put both in, and I'm so happy with it. And at the very end, actually, this is my very favorite part. I know I keep saying this, but I promise this is my final favorite part. You hear what sounds like a human scream, but then you realize it's not a human scream, it's some sort of bug call or something. And it was just a public domain sound, so we didn't know what it was. I did my little Googling. I listened to a lot of nature sounds, let me tell you, and I finally tracked it down to a type of toad. I think it's called the Fowler's toad. That makes that kind of cry. So thank you to Fowler toads, and I should stop talking about this because this is getting too long. So thank you for listening.